Welcome back to the news at 10. We can now bring you more political stories. Unknown gunmen have attacked the All Progressives Congress office in Okirika local government area of Rivers State in Nigeria's south region. Reports say the attackers injured 3 members of the party as they prepared for a rally in Rumweme Obio Akpo local government area. The APC chairman in Okirika local government area, Mr. Christian Asifamaka, says the attackers threw dynamite into the party office. Meanwhile, the academic qualifications of the APC presidential candidates, General Muhammadu Buhari, has come under the searchlight of the ruling PDP. And the party questions the general's credentials and have also questioned the umpire, INEC, and what it feels it should be doing in the matter. The APC and INEC have equally reacted to the PDP's concern on the matter, which borders on whether or not General Buhari is qualified to stand for election next month.
Buhari.
He emerged as the APC's presidential candidate, a man who ran for the same office in 2003, 2007 and 2011.
Presidential primaries.
Now his qualification has come under intense scrutiny by the ruling PDP.
Pledged to run an efficient government.
The director of media of the Jonathan Campaign Council, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, at this press conference in Abuja, tells journalists that General Buhari is not qualified to contest the 2015 presidential election.
The inability of the All Progressives Congress, APC, General Muhammadu Buhari, to present even the minimum requirement of just a leaving school certificate questions his credentials for pursuing the position of the President of Nigeria. From what INEC has published, Buhari has not submitted any personal particular of minimum school leaving certificate for the 2015 election. The affidavit of a candidate whose personal particulars it did not receive within the prescribed time frame by law is most unfortunate, to say the least.
Honestly, it's pretty preposterous.
The APC reacts to the true state of this candidate's credentials.
Honestly, it's pretty preposterous for anybody to believe or to think that a person who has risen to the level of a general in the Nigerian army does not possess a primary school leaving certificate. See, there should be limit to politicking. And in our desperation, we should not destroy institutions that we've built over the years. Are you saying that the Nigerian army is so unworthy that a man will join the army without a force certificate that he will rise to become a general?
Meanwhile, INEC, the umpire, has added its voice to this matter. What then is the Commission's intervention?
The constitutional requirement is that you have a minimum qualification of school certificate. You have told the world I have a school certificate. So by that, ordinarily you are qualified. It is not the responsibility of INEC to determine whether Buhari or any candidate for that matter is qualified. The law is that it is that of the judiciary. So INEC has no responsibility. If anybody feels aggrieved that Buhari is not qualified, the law went on in the same section 31 says if you believe that that candidate does not possess the requisite qualification to contest for any elective position, go to court.
The Commission has suggested legal action to resolve the matter. Till then, we can only watch and wait.
In what many may view as unusual, the Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola today signed the 2015 budget at the Lagos House Marina. Governor Fashola says his reason for signing the budget on a Sunday is to forestall further delay due to his involvement in his party's pre-election activities. The approved budget stands at 489.69 billion naira. That's the exact figure it was for 2014. Our correspondent, Loretta Chogo, reports.
This is the first time in his 8-year tenure that Governor Babatunde Fashola is signing the budget on a Sunday. It's a few-minute event that just needed his assent after approval by the state legislators last week. The size of the budget is 489.69 billion naira, the same as 2014. The governor says the choice for signing the budget on a Sunday is due to his busy schedules, which will be more in the coming weeks due to his party's pre-election activities.
Budget is the article of faith of government. How determined, how focused, how serious government is defined by how it treats the budget. I have heard talk about elections in the air and therefore budgets delayed and so on and so forth. I don't think that there is any legitimate excuse for it. The government that is able to plan implement its plan. Part of the planning requires that any serious government should set the budget in advance of the end of the year. And this event should have held tomorrow, Monday. You might be aware, the party has called a national meeting in Abuja, and it is no excuse. And our flexibility, our adaptability with our plans makes it easier for us to call it forward instead of pushing it back.
The breakdown of the budget has the Works and Infrastructure Ministry taking a chunk of 72.25 billion naira, Education followed with 52.09 billion naira, 28.67 billion naira is voted for housing, while health got 32.4 billion naira. Governor Fashola says the budget size is retained in order to keep zero deficits for the incoming government. He also says there were financing challenges when the budget was presented. While presenting the 2015 budget in 2014, Governor Fashola had said the budget would focus on the payment of contractors' liabilities to enable the government to complete as many projects as possible before handing over to the next administration. He says out of the 400 roads promised by his administration, over 190 have been completed, while another list of 400 roads are being compiled for the next governor that will take over from him. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
The Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, has begun cleaning the methamphetamine drug manufacturing laboratory in Nanka, Anambra State. The legal laboratory was declared toxic and dangerous to public health by the agency and the State Ministry of Health in March last year when it was shut down.
The illegal drug manufacturing company is in Nanka, a community in Urumba North Local Government area. The team for this task had to kit up before embarking on the exercise, owing to the volume of toxicity inside the factory. The building had to be sprayed with detoxifying chemicals, as a lot of damage had already been done. That's according to the head of Forensic and Chemical Monitoring Unit of the NDLEA, Margaret Ogundipe, who said the drug is posing a serious health threat to members of the community.
The bad news is that some of the dangerous chemicals have already percolated into the underground water body, which we may not be able to do here because it's a long-term problem, which may involve the residents of this area to know that there's a need to do a water purification of any water that is coming from the underlying water body in this area. So the government may come to the aid of this community by doing a water treatment plant, or in the interim, individual residents can do water treatment for the individual homes to prevent some of the pollutants in the underlying body of water from getting into their system and causing long-term problems.
Being aware of the health and environmental implications of this drug, one could only imagine the enormous disaster it would cause to the people of Nanka, considering its financial attraction. In the case at hand, the worrisome part is that it is not likely that the people of Nanka know the health and environmental implications of this drug. So the NDLEA team leader throws more light on the subject.
What they should have at the back of their mind is that whoever is involved in this criminal act, no matter what is given to them, no matter how benevolent he is to the community, on the long run, the community will suffer.
However, the state commandant of the NDLEA commended the Anambra state government for the support in ensuring that the cleanup exercise goes the whole 9 yards. and also reassured the government that the command will continue its efforts in creating more awareness on the dangers and effects of drug abuse.
And now to the arts. Works of art from across the continent meet at the Resource Gallery in Lagos. Many of them, which have existed for decades, tell a compelling story about their origin. Our review tonight takes a look at some of the interesting works of art at the Resource Gallery.
The collection at the Resource Place is like a visual feast which is sure to keep any art enthusiast satisfied. Art pieces from every nook and cranny, not only on the African continent, but from far and wide, meet in this room. The person that ensures this union takes place is Wale Fasui, the owner of this gallery.
What has always tickled me is how the various art schools in Nigeria have become very preeminent in their own styles. If you go to the Auchi school, you know they are very good for painting and for carving. If you go to the Ife school, they have their own nuances. If you go to the Nsukka school, so what we do is look at those schools generally and try to pick one or two works from them and put them together.
He takes us through the collection, which has lots of stories about Asian art practices in other countries and a passion to ensure a legacy doesn't go to waste. A good example is this antique mask series from East and Central Africa, which dates back to over 70 years. Sourced from remote villages of Kamba and Bajun tribes in Kenya and from the Shahad tribe in Congo-Brazzaville.
Some are from Tanzania, some are from Kenya, Malawi, Congo-Brazzaville, and they are what you call collector's items. They are antique pieces, and I intend to get more of them. I also have pieces from Cameroon, I have pieces from Togo, I have pieces from Côte d'Ivoire. From this series we're seeing now, there are some, that is Mali, and the other one I think is about, if I'm not sure, the Gambia. So a lot of pieces are from Africa. What I try to do is make sure that the collections are not limited to Nigeria. Okay. Let my collection be, at least have an African spread.
Another fascinating piece is the banjo player by J. Ovie, produced in 2008. The intricate form and superb finishing stands it out.
If you look at it critically, you see that it's somebody playing the banjo. It's one of the pieces I hold very dearly, but the detail to finish is very, very encouraging.
Other interesting pieces is the double horse rider by Abiodun Badmus, done with a burning wood and engraving technique. And that's the intriguing thing about this space. Anything that comes through these doors has to have something unique about it. Mr. Fasui is very picky about this collection, but there's always room for artists who are able to bring that dream to reality at the Resource Place.
Next on the news at 10, more than 1 million people take part in a unity march in Paris after 17 people were killed during 3 days of deadly attacks in the French capital. That's on the foreign scene. Please join us again.